right, what up, gents? It's your boy Sean C. here with another episode of Simsational Gent, and I have the extreme pleasure of interviewing my friend Janine, who is a successful businesswoman who I think that we can gain some insight from, and then hopefully have a conversation that will allow us to learn from each other, both men and women, and hopefully maybe lead us to more equitable outcomes in our own lives. Janine, please bless us and tell us about yourself. Tell us about your business and stuff like that.
So again, I'm Janine, and by education, I have a biology degree, a genetics degree, educational technology leadership degree.
Smart.
And right now I serve as a instructional designer for a university. And on the side, when I have time, I have two businesses, Designs by Destiny, and I create custom things like this lovely, oh, you can't see it. Lovely mugs and shirts and whatever you could think of. And then J9 Learning Solutions. I do website design, instructional design, curriculum writing, all the technology stuff on that side. So that's me.
So listen up. What she just said was she's smart as hell, got a lot going on, got her business going, okay? Hide your kids, hide your wife. She doing it all right? So look, let me give y'all some background. She and I went to school together, and she's, we've always had like honors classes and stuff like that together. She had advanced classes, so she would be in like my classes because I was a grade ahead. And so always very smart, graduated top of her class. Did you graduate salutatorian or some shit?
Valedictorian, excuse me.
Oh, valedictorian, my bad. Did all this at a very young, at a young age. We'll get to some of her background, but you'll understand she's done some amazing things despite the fact some of the things she's been through. Still did amazing things, still worked through those things. So I'm so proud of her. Again, one of my smartest friends I know. So with that being said, how old are you, Janine?
I am 41.
All right, 41. You look good, girl. You look good. So we talked about what you do for a living, and we talked about your education. So what is your current relationship status?
Single.
Single? Okay. Now,
single.
Have you ever been married?
I have. I am divorced. Was married for 10 years. Married for about 10 years with somebody I've known since I was 11. It's not anybody new. Somebody I was with for knew for a very long time.
Who initiated the divorce? You've been knowing that person for a long time. You were married for over 10 years. What would be so bad, or what was it about that relationship that was so bad that, like, after 10 years and knowing this person for a long time, that you felt it needed to end?
So he decided that he needed girlfriends, as if I wasn't enough. He got, he had girlfriends that he started to get after we were married, after we've been together so long. Then as soon as we got married, he got girlfriends, which was actually not the biggest problem, because I did fight for it. I was like, you know what? We can move past it. Let's go, keep it moving. We have a child together. And so I tried, and I guess he didn't try, and that's what happened. So, I got kind of fed up with it.
Okay. Do you think about marriage, or you just kind of look at it a little differently now?
I do look at it a little differently, because I find that when I was in my first marriage, I got lost in it. Like, it wasn't a whole me, whole him, and we come together and we kind of retain our whole selves. It was more like we matched up, and I got lost. I will say I got lost. Not saying it was a bad thing. It was more like my idea growing up of marriage was to be basically, I don't want to say a servant, but it was to, serve your husband kind of thing, be there for him, support him, as you should kind of thing. And then when I left, I realized everything was we, and I didn't know what I liked anymore. Like, it was stuff that we liked. And if he couldn't go to something, then I didn't go to something. It was, I just totally lost myself in there. So if I do happen to get married again, it won't be the whole big shebang. And definitely not that's out the window. I'm not about to spend a bunch of money on that.
Because it's stupid, actually.
Yes. And it's not really for the two people. It's for everybody else.
For everybody else, yeah. I'm ready to go there and drink.
So
I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to get my drinky drink on, okay? It's open bar. We're doing this shit.
He'll be intimate, but it gotta be somebody who's willing to be okay with me doing my thing, him doing his thing. We have things together, but we are a team. We work as a team, and everybody know we a team. Like, they're not about to come in with no bull and try to, like, we here. We not. It's not on a superficial level. Like, I realized after me and my ex-husband never really talked into depth about a whole lot of things. There were all these just superficial things, but we never really got into the weeds about stuff, and that's where a lot of issues ended up coming up. So it would just be a different, not, I just want to get married. It would be for a different reason.
Let me ask you a question. You talked about in the past, like you guys were together and then you kind of talked about just the normal stuff. Did you guys not in your marriage not think about and talk about the long term where you guys saw each other at? Like, are you talking about that? Right? Because a lot of people will get married and of course they'll say kids, house, the normal stuff you go through getting married. But what couples never talk about is where do we see ourselves when we're getting older? Like, where do we want to be? What kind of old people do we want to be together? And people think more about are we still going to love each other and stuff? But it's like, do you want to be that traveling couple? Do you want to just be sitting at home and watch it? Do you want to maybe like open up some type of foundation or something and do more work? Nobody thinks about where they see themselves older. And I think that as you change through the years, that you lose sight of where are we going with this marriage. It's like the car is driving, but you have no real destination other than when the car just runs out of gas.
Mm-hmm. And I think you run on autopilot, right? You're just like, okay, I'm taking care of the household, we're taking care of the kids, we're making sure, we have our jobs, money coming in. And I think you kind of get stuck in that pattern there. And just coming outside of that, it's hard. Like, it's like, I don't have time to think about the other stuff because I'm still trying to deal with what's going on, at this present moment. And we definitely were at that point. Like, it was just routine. It was just a routine. We just got stuck into a rut kind of thing.
And I think a lot of marriages find themselves in a rut because marriages have routines, and that's normal because people are comfortable in routines. I think where the problem is that you get into a routine and you're not willing to do something outside of it, right? Like, or not do something to shake up the pattern. Because when people get comfortable, they don't want to step out of that comfort. Like, you were working, right, while you were married? Okay, so you worked while you were married. And so you guys had that separate work life, but then you came home and it was still the same mundane stuff. I think that you have to have interest outside of each other so that you don't do what happened with you and him, where you lose yourself in each other. You see it too often. I went through it with my marriage, where your spouse doesn't have their own interest. And when their interests become your interests, you can tell when they get lost because they don't have anything but you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They rely on you so heavily for their entertainment, for their everything. So I think that you bring up a good point. I think that there needs to be a healthy, I do this. Let me be clear. You wouldn't want to marry someone or have a long-term spouse with somebody. You do the same things or you're like-minded.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's not one of those, opposites attract. No, like people attract. You have the same interests, same stuff, but you need your own stuff to be able to do. And I think that would make a lot of relationships go a lot further.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.